Helen is 24 this year. She's got a graceful appearance and a kind heart. She works as a staff member in a company. This year, due to the tough economic conditions, the company faced challenges, and Helen got laid off. She took a break at home for a while, and in these ordinary days, something extraordinary happened to her. On a slightly sultry evening, Helen slept at home all day. In the evening, a few good friends dragged her to the bar. As soon as she entered the bar, she was drawn to the music inside. The singer wasn't very handsome, but his voice could transport people into his world. His name is Jacob, an original wandering singer, making a living by singing in the bar. Today marks his 99th day performing at this bar. After Jacob finished a song, the applause from the audience below was continuous. Helen, on the other hand, just stared at the singer dumbfounded, too nervous to say a word. Jacob walked past Helen, and she wanted to speak, but didn't know what to say. After Jacob left, Helen lost interest in staying at the bar. She said goodbye to her friends and walked home alone. As Helen reached the entrance of her apartment building, she saw a boy standing at the apartment door. It was the same boy she saw at the bar, Jacob.
How come you're here?
Why wouldn't I be here? I live in this apartment.
I didn't realize we were so close.
That day, as Helen walked past the boy's door, on her way back from a friend's house, she heard strange noises inside. Helen knocked on the door, but no one answered. Just as she was about to leave, she heard the sound again from inside.
Are you home?
Yes!
Do you need any help?
Come in.
What's going on?
Jacob didn't say anything, just stared at the papers on the floor. Helen quietly helped him tidy up, opened the curtains to let in the sunlight. After Helen finished tidying up, she sat gently beside him, quietly watching. Jacob held a piece of paper in his hand. After a while, he finally spoke.
I'm writing a song. What's your name?
I'm Helen. And you?
I'm Jacob.
That's how they met. In the following days, Helen often came to Jacob's place to help tidy up. A month later, the two of them were together. Jacob no longer wandered. He caught the attention of a big bar owner who offered him a high salary to sing. Helen also found a new job. The two of them were happily together, very affectionate. Jacob wasn't much of a talker, and sometimes Helen would pretend to be angry, teasing Jacob.
Jacob, you're not allowed to look at other women at the bar.
Helen, I won't look at other girls.
Really? I don't believe that. You're so talented.
Silly girl. I only love you. I won't be interested in others.
When are we going to your place to meet your mom?
Yeah, sure. We'll talk about it another day.
Helen sensed that Jacob was hiding something from her. Without asking, she knew that Jacob would eventually take her to his hometown. Time flies, and before they knew it, they've been together for 2 years. Today is Helen's birthday, and Jacob got up early to prepare breakfast.
This is quite a spread, Jacob. Didn't know you had such cooking skills. Impressive. Why did you get me a gift?
This is just a little something from me. Happy birthday, Helen. Thanks for putting up with my bad mood.
You know we're truly in love. Thanks for the gift you gave me.
Helen's heart was instantly filled with happiness. She hugged Jacob tightly for a very long time. That day, Jacob went to a friend's gathering, and he didn't come back home. Helen waited for him the whole night. The next day, Jacob hurriedly returned home, and Helen felt that he was a bit different from usual.
Where did you go? Why didn't you come back last night?
No big deal. I had too much to drink at the party yesterday, so I crashed at a friend's place.
Jacob returned to the bedroom, lying on the bed, thinking about what happened yesterday, regretting and wanting to smack himself a few times. Yesterday night, Jacob did drink a lot, and he couldn't remember what happened afterward. When he opened his eyes this morning, he found himself lying in a hotel bed with a completely naked girl beside him. This girl often listened to him sing at the bar, comes from a wealthy and influential family, and had confessed her feelings to him before, but he rejected her. Today, this girl was lying next to him, saying that he should take responsibility, asking him to break up with Helen. How could he possibly break up with Helen, the girl he loves the most? Until evening, Jacob hadn't left the room. He deeply regretted it and didn't dare to confess to Helen.
Jacob, what's wrong? You haven't left the room all day. Are you hungry? Let me make something for you to eat.
Thank you, Helen. I just miss my mom.
Jacob didn't dare to tell Helen the truth, but he really missed his mother. His mother is a paralyzed person, and it's a genetic condition in the family. His mother, at the age of 28, suddenly became paralyzed. Unable to cope with his paralyzed mother, his father also left. His mother worked hard to raise Jacob. Every month, Jacob would send a portion of his salary to his mother. Jacob was fortunate to have met someone as wonderful as Helen, and he truly cherished her. However, he made a mistake that betrayed Helen. This day, as Jacob arrived at his doorstep, the girl named Kate was waiting for him outside his house.
Jacob, can we talk?
Kate, why are you here? We're over.
I'm pregnant.
What's your plan?
Break up with Helen as soon as you can.
I can't find a reason to break up.
That's your business.
Jacob was shocked. Kate is pregnant. It took him a long time before he entered the house in the evening.
Helen, I'm thinking about heading back to my hometown tomorrow. Do you want to come along?
All right, Jacob. You're finally taking me home. Of course, I'm in.
Helen was thrilled when Jacob mentioned taking her home to meet his mom. Little did she know, Jacob just wanted her to see what his mom was like, hoping it might scare her away. The next day, they traveled a long, winding mountain road and arrived at a rundown house. This is Jacob's home. The elderly woman in the wheelchair is none other than Jacob's mom.
Mom, I'm back.
Upon hearing the call, Jacob's mom turned her head, saw Jacob, and tears welled up in her eyes. Jacob walked over to his mom and gave her a hug. Seeing all this, Helen understood. She knew why Jacob had been hesitant to take her home. It was because his mom had been paralyzed, and Jacob was worried that she might be put off by his family situation.
Let's break up. You've seen my mom's situation. Go find someone better.
No, I'm sticking with you. No matter what your mom's like, I'm sticking with you.
I don't love you anymore. I like another girl now, and she's carrying my child. I want to be with her.
After hearing this, Helen couldn't find any words to say. She quietly packed her things and left. Watching her leave, Jacob knelt on the ground and cried out loud, but it was too late. Soon Jacob got together with the girl named Kate, but he couldn't find true happiness. One day, while they were out shopping, Jacob suddenly collapsed to the ground, unable to move his lower body. Kate rushed Jacob to the hospital, where the doctor delivered some distressing news.
What's your relationship with the patient?
I am his girlfriend.
Well, you need to be prepared emotionally. There's a possibility he might be paralyzed. This is a rare genetic condition within his family.
Upon hearing this, Kate wasn't surprised at all. She walked straight into the hospital room, intending to play a massive prank on Jacob.
Jacob, congratulations. The doctor said you might be paralyzed. Heh, you got what you deserved.
What do you mean?
I wanted a boyfriend, and I was determined to get one. I lied to you back then. Heh heh. Now I'm not interested in you anymore. Goodbye. Ha.
It was only now that Jacob realized there had been no physical contact between them that night. They had spiked their drinks with a sedative, and the supposed pregnancy was also a hoax. After being discharged, Jacob spends his days playing the guitar and singing on the street to make a living. One time, when he called home, his mother mentioned receiving $2,000 every month. Jacob immediately figured out what was going on. He rushed to their former residence, disregarding everything. Jacob just arrived at the door and happened to see Helen coming down.
Helen, how have you been lately?